There are two kinds of people in this world.
I am Brian Cox, and I'm a reductionist, which means I will be attempting to understand the universe in the simplest possible terms.
And I'm Robin Ince, and I'll be attempting to understand Brian Cox.
It's a bit like Schrodinger's strawberry.
But when is a strawberry dead?
I lecture for hours on this subject. You know, if you put a plastic bag over your head, you're going to be dead in about a minute and a half or something like that.
No, but I put strawberries in bags all the time.
Yeah.
And I carry them back from the supermarket. If it's not going on living, then it's not alive.
So, yeah, thank you.
Can I just say, by the way, he doesn't come back from the supermarket with the strawberries. A man who works for him does.
And we asked the audience, why wouldn't you want to live forever?
Because time may have eroded all of the mountains, and there'll be none left for Brian Cox to stand wistfully atop. Gazing heaven.
Here's a picture of the world.
Freddie, there are two kinds of people in this world.
The curious, who want to know things, and, at the opposite end of the spectrum, the incurious, who just want things.
Freddie, there are two kinds of people in this world.
The social and the antisocial.
Recall the lessons of Adam Smith, father of modern economics.
In competition, individual ambition serves the common good.
Exactly.
Bullshit. Every man for himself, gentlemen.
The social are grazers who travel in large herds, and, at the opposite end of the spectrum, the antisocial, bloodthirsty predators who travel alone or in single-family groups. I've coloured the grazers green for the grass and leaves they eat, and the predators red for the blood they drink. Green also means go, as in, go across the street and help a Samaritan on the other side. And red means stop, as in...
Stop the boats. We have stopped the boats. Because this government has stopped the boats. The only way to ensure that we have no children in immigration detention is not to have any boats. And those boats have stopped, thanks to the strong but necessary policies of this government, and the Human Rights Commission ought to be ashamed of itself.
I've coloured the grazers green for the grass and leaves they eat, and the predators red for the blood they drink. But I've got the colours wrong, because green people wave red flags and red people wave blue ones. So red means green and blue means red. So there are four kinds of people in the world. From what I read of their published explanations, Monte Carlo players are in the bottom right quadrant. They just want to win, and they don't care how they do it. Whereas Halley is in the upper left. It tries to win, but its main purpose in life is to understand Go. The key to understanding something is figuring out its meaning. The meaning of a thing is the way in which it interacts with the rest of the world. In the case of Go, the ultimate meaning of each and every move is who wins at the end. And for a biological thing, the ultimate meaning of each and every second of its own life is also what happens at the end of the game. But for the genes, it is their reincarnation in the form of the genomes of the organism's offspring. So macrobiotic organisms like humans are merely envelopes containing messages written in the 4 letters of the genetic alphabet. Our genes program us to subconsciously make our principal driving force, our overriding purpose in life, our most fundamental basic instinct, to be one that serves the interests of our genes. We are just robots, the slaves of our masters, the genes, who built us to serve their purposes. Our genes have only one purpose in life, to reproduce themselves. They can't do this by themselves because it requires energy to do so. So they need machines called plants to convert external sources of energy, heat and light, into chemical energy, and other machines called animals to convert the chemical energy in plants into forms that the micro-machines inside our cells can use to perform the two great functions of life, meiosis and fertilization. Our genes design us to want to reproduce, whether or not we understand the reason. Occasionally, as in the cases of Alan Turing and Herbert Hoover, the manufacturing process of making an organism goes awry and produces a machine that doesn't know whether it's a man or a woman. That's probably why Turing designed his test of machine intelligence the way he did, a test of whether the machine could identify whether the person it was talking to was a man or a woman. Turing chose to illustrate his test with a conversation about Christmas. In Europe and its former colonies, people still celebrate Christmas. Do you know why Christmas exists? Where does Christmas come from? If you can't provide a sensible answer to this question, you will fail the Turing test. Let me give you a clue. Christmas is 9 months after Easter. Does that ring any bells?